The first rule in grip sport is you tell everyone about grip sport.
Crushing, pinch grip, thick bar, wrists.
If the best guy in the world can't lift 100 pounds on it, I don't give a shit about it.
Welcome back to another episode of the Grip Show. I promise I'm going to get back to doing some interviews and some other stuff coming up soon, but there have been so many competitions and so many good turnouts for the competitions, good quality lifters, new lifters coming onto the scene. I got to get caught up on these recaps. So we're going to be hitting a couple more recaps before I can get to some other stuff. Joining me today, Glenn Hunter. So Glenn, welcome to the show. And we are going to get into the recent competition that took place on the 23rd. Is that correct? 23rd of August, I believe.
Yep, Saturday 23rd.
Okay. Yes, and that's in Canberra. Did I say that right, or is that?
Yeah, that's correct. Canberra.
Okay. Yeah, we've talked on the show several times about kind of with the last couple of years of Australia running a nationals competition, things like this, Capital City Grip Challenge or Capital Challenge, whatever. They have different names, or Ultra Strongfest, so there's a couple different names it could go by, or that it's been branded in the newsletter or on different things. What would you say is the official name of the competition?
Yeah, I would say Ultra Strongfest.
Okay. And this is the third time that they've
Ultra Strongfest 3 this year.
Okay. Awesome. And that's been hosted by Mark, right? Is his last name, is it Boylin? Is that correct?
Yeah, Mark Boylin, yeah.
Okay. Just want to give him credit for hosting it, and he is connected to that gym, correctly? Is he like the owner of the gym? And
yeah, I think he owns and runs the gym, Ultra Fitness and Strength in Canberra. And he's doing with this comp, he's doing an awesome job. They've gone all in on the grip. This year they had a big grip wall, all different crazy implements and grippers. So that's, great to see.
Yeah, and there's also other stuff that happens around this, like I don't know if it's the same weekend or whatever, but don't they have like numerous competitions? Like there's like strongmen or powerlifting or deadlifts. So I see like a bunch of strength stuff. So it's almost like I don't say like a strength festival, but it is kind of like a gathering of strength, and then gathering
of strength athletes. This year there was a deadlift competition, which is part of the, I think, World Deadlift Championships. They must have it must be like a record breakers style event. There was a standalone stone lifting event, and on the Sunday after the grip comp, there was a strongman event. Okay. And that was sort of like an 80s style, old school, crazy event, strongman thing. It was, it looked really cool. They had some, it was like a U pull with vert bars. Mm-hmm. It's like a truck pull with vert bars. It was, it looked really cool.
Yeah, no, I've seen some pictures, but I don't think I saw that.
Yeah. It was, and they also had this year pro wrestling.
Oh, I did see a ring like outside or something, I believe.
So Slam Pro League Wrestling, which is a local organization. In between the implements on the Saturday, we'd all head outside, and there's a wrestling match happening. It was it's just really cool to have that gathering. All these different strength and sports people come together, and the wrestling was crazy. I don't know how they do it.
No, there's a lot. There's a lot. Everybody talks about it's fake, but if you watch somebody, like anything in life, it's an art form, and there's levels to it. And when you see people that really know what the hell they're doing, it's impressive as any other sport. Like, and I'm not trying to go down a big time wrestling thing here, but obviously for anybody that is into pro wrestling or ever was back in the day, we'll say, but you might have more like popular wrestlers, but maybe they weren't really known as like tacticians or really finesse guys. You might have somebody like I'm just gonna throw out some random shit here. Okay. It's like you might have like Kevin Nash. And it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
Kevin Nash really doesn't have a whole lot of moves. He's gonna step over the top rope because he's like 6'11". He's gonna power bomb somebody, whatever. But then you might have somebody like Rob Van Dam or what am I thinking of? Like
Jerry
Brett,
Flynn.
yeah, or like Bret Hart. But somebody that just everything they do is just so smooth. The timing is perfect. Like you could almost be like a shitty wrestler, and if you wrestle with one of those people, they could make you look phenomenal
Yeah.
because they're that good. So that's just me giving. I'm not the biggest wrestling fan. I watched it when I was younger, a brief period, but yeah, it is cool to see live when I don't know because a lot of people, if they were to have to go out there, like, oh, I could do that. It's like they're not going to be selling anything. Everything's going to look off, and you're going to be like, no. There's a reason certain people are professionals, or even at a, maybe even like a lesser level. Those people
Yeah. You got,
still know what they're doing. And
you do joke about it and go, oh, I'll get in the ring. But, you know, 5 seconds is probably the max I would last because it was athletic. It was, brutal. You see the guys after, their bodies are red and bruised and, it was really cool to see. And that's like sort of what I said before. I really like what Mark is doing with this weekend. There's always cool stuff happening. I think in the first year we had a band play in
Mhm.
between the implements and in between the events. Last year there was a food truck and a beer cart, and the beer cart came back this year. So shout out to Cypher Brewery. There, it was really, yeah, really handy to have that on site this year because I think after Saxon, the two heavy events, that was it. I was stuck in.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's awesome because one, it creates a cool environment, but then you also kind of merging all these things together, you get a lot of crossover. Because I'm just gonna speculate here. There's probably several people that did the grip competition that they probably found out about it because they were deadlifting or doing strongman, or at least maybe
Yep.
next year you'll have somebody that saw it this year, and then Ultra Strongfest 4, hey, one of the strongmen's going to come over. One of the ladies doing strongman is going to come over and do something. So I think it's a good way to get exposure to the sport and bring in other kind of high level athletes or just people that are training and might find it interesting. So I
Yeah.
think it's good for everybody. So I really like that he's doing
And
that. And
there was one of the guys from the local arm wrestling club came along. And he brought a few people with him, just to spectate. And yeah, that was really, they obviously stood out in a room of gripsters because, you know,
mm,
you got massive forearms everywhere. So hopefully, yeah, it'd be cool maybe next year if we have an arm wrestling table or something and
yeah, it
maybe a
might.
couple of super matches.
I was gonna say, yeah, maybe
But
tie some arm wrestling into it too. Just keep expanding and just turn it into
yeah,
its own like expo or festival almost. Well, I mean, it already basically is, but I'm saying yeah, I don't know, just keep expanding on it. Um, but yeah, so going into this, I believe you mentioned that there were some youth competitors that competed, and
yeah.
maybe
So
their
we had,
event lineup was a little bit different. So, like I said, we don't have to go crazy on that, but I did want to just kind of mention that I know in a recent episode we had a recap where people were talking about, getting younger people involved in the sport and, how to go about that. And, I'm not going to go deep into, recruiting and all that other stuff, or yeah, that could be for another episode. But I just wanted to note that there were, um, you know,
yeah,
kids,
we had
teens lifting and,
five juniors lift,
mhm.
and quite young too. I think between about 8 and 11, or maybe 7 and 11.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to find age. I don't think it's on this particular sheet, but that's all right. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
And they
So we had
basically
some,
did the flask, and
yeah, two
then
hand
yeah,
flask, 2 inch napalm nightmare, and the finish ball. So
Okay.
a condensed lineup for them.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, some it was good to see. They had a lot of fun, and there was also a drawing competition as well. Isaac, who you've had on the show before,
Hmm.
he had a ran it through his online store, Five Arms. He ran a drawing competition and yeah, gave away a gripper, a Iron Mine Guide gripper. It was rated about 26. So
Oh man,
yeah,
that's
hopefully
my
we'll
style.
see that
Yeah.
see that closed pretty soon.
I need to certify on that. I should hit up Randall Strawson and see if he'll let me credit card set that on camera and get a certificate. Think that'll
Well, you got to
fly?
use Iron Mine. Got to use the Iron Mine credit card. We found out.
I'll do it. So if it's 26, it's in my range. That'll be in my range. Just like that number 4 right here that I TNS'd for you before we started filming. Um, but
Yes, validated.
add me to the list. But but no, man, like I said, I do like seeing the younger competitors getting involved, or if they have to be there with their parent or whatever the case is, they're just there hanging out. It's just cool to see them get into something physical and probably not have their head shoved into a phone or something. You know, the way things are these days, I feel like everybody's just zoned out, phone, tablet. So it's like, yeah, get
Yeah.
outside, go lift, go do something, go have some fun.
I did want my oldest to compete. He's 5.5. But yeah, he wasn't too interested. I think they found one of the big strongman tires out the back, and that was it. I'd lost them for the morning, so
Yeah, that
maybe
tire's
next
way
year.
cooler than the finished ball.
Ah, that's brings shame to my family. We're a Finnish ball family.
No, is that legit, or are you messing with me? Or
What? No, we're not Finnish. No,
no, the finished ball thing or whatever. Okay, sorry. I,
no, I'm just being stupid.
Okay.
Don't
No.
pay any
I
attention.
I was just double checking. I thought like, oh well, maybe you're really good at the finished ball, and that's like an event that I don't know that maybe he had tried before, but then the tire just took him away from it. But no, yeah, if it's just totally sarcasm on the finished ball, then that's me that's messing up the joke, taking it too literal. So that's my bad. I do mess up. Doesn't happen too often, but no, but
No, no stress.
and then for all the adult lifters. It was pretty
Yeah, so
much
we had
good turnout.
six females and 15 males, so 21 overall,
Real good turnout.
which is a great turnout, I think.
Yeah, no, that's amazing.
Um, we had people from a few different states, so and a few locals too. So a really good mix. And then also a mix of like experienced guys and first timers. Some people who had never even seen the implements before, so just sort of came along to check it out. So yeah, really, really good mix, I think, this year.
And for the adults, you guys did not do the flask, right? It
No,
was
so we did Saxon bar, three
okay.
by
Yep.
four Saxon bar, 2-inch napalm nightmare or two-handed
Yep.
2-inch napalm nightmare, grab ball, finish ball, and then the local implement, the mandrel that
Yeah.
Henry had made,
Yep.
which is sort of becoming a bit of a staple of this comp. It's, I really like it. I really like it. It's different to vert bar or little bighorn.
No, for sure. He actually sent me one. I have one out in the
You've got
garage.
one?
Yeah, he sent me
Oh,
one.
okay.
I
Yeah.
yeah. He
Big.
needed some help. I think getting there's some weird thing with Rogue shipping over here, and I live like an hour and a half from Rogue's, like whatever them in Columbus, Ohio. But whatever it was better for him to have the handles shipped to me and then I shipped them to him than it was for him to go straight from Rogue because it was going to be like something stupid for a couple of grandfather clock handles. And I was like, yeah, dude, I'll ship those over, no problem. And then I shipped those over and I said, hey, if you got any of those extra mandrels, could you shoot me one? So he actually gave me one. I haven't really maxed on it, but I have thrown it on the pin a couple times and taken some pulls, and It's going to take
Yeah,
me a little bit more work to kind of find a good spot with that and maybe pull something respectable. But
yeah.
it,
There,
it
there's
it is a
some
cool handle.
little the technique's a bit different to usual like little bighorn. And I think pain becomes a way bigger element in this lift too, because
Mhm.
right at the tip, what is it like 10 mil? It's maybe
God,
even smaller.
I say maybe not even. It
You
almost
know,
comes to a point.
yeah,
It's
and it's
about like
like
it's about like a
yeah,
pin. I mean,
that's
it's bigger and then it tapers, but yeah, it's almost like a yeah. It's kind of well, kind of. I mean, the Rogue Anvil's a lot bigger. It's a giant handle, but the Rogue Anvil has that real long taper. I mean, this is almost just like a short cone, and it's got a pretty steep taper that gets very narrow. So
yeah.
it has a totally different grip. I forget what Henry lifted on it at one of those things, but it was like I don't know,
Well,
270 or something.
I
I don't
won't
know.
jump ahead too much,
Okay.
but he did set a new record, 133 kilos.
Okay. I have to think about
So
what that
what's
is.
that?
Oh God.
Almost 300 pounds.
Yeah, it'd have to be. You said one. How much was that? Sorry.
133.55.
Okay, let's find out here in 2 seconds. 294. So
Jesus.
a little over 294. Yeah, I remember doing like 270 something, and like I said, I didn't max out on it, but when I did take a couple pulls and just throw it on a pin, while I was doing some stuff, I was kind of like, how the hell did he do 270 on that handle? And then now he's almost doing 300. So yeah, that's wild. But yeah, no, we can jump into I guess kind of some of the events or some of the action, or really just kind of highlights and kind of just skip through things and yeah, I mean, doesn't have to
Yeah,
necessarily be
so
a particular order, but yeah, just kind of give some credit to the lifters, certain moments, and yeah, do all that. Sorry, I'm trying to find my stat sheet
no,
again.
all good. So pretty much we for the whole day for all five events, we just ran a rising bar, and I'm not sure, is that like become more popular recently with the King Kong phased out their four attempt max and went to rising bar. Is that sort of more
Well,
common now, or has that always been the case?
yeah, and I guess, like I said, I don't want to seem like I'm correcting it, but like for me, rising bar is just okay. We're adding the weight, and once we add the weight, we can't take it off. Technically, it's the unlimited attempts or like last man standing would technically be like the format. So, because
Yeah.
you could still do rising bar with a 4 event lineup. Um,
Oh
and,
yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
and then that's kind of what we had in Minnesota. So we did still go by the 4 attempts there.
Yeah.
But then for the competition, I just did back-to-back weekends with competition. So when I was in Minnesota, it was 4 attempts. Or if it was like the inch dumbbells, it was okay, 2 attempts. So there was a limited attempt format there. Um, with grippers being the only event that you could drop down if you had missed, whereas everything else is, continuing up. That's pretty much standardized for all comps. But uh, but yeah, each format I think has its pros and cons to it. But I think a lot of people do kind of like if they're confident where they're at. I think they kind of like having that little bit of a leeway. Hey, you know, we've seen it very often where people would hit a lift on their fourth attempt, because maybe it's a friction lift and they're playing a little conservative and they leave some pounds on the
Yeah.
table and they don't necessarily get to show their best. Now, that makes it interesting for, lifter to lifter for strategy. Hey, what's your next jump? What's my next jump? How many attempts do you have left? It makes the strategy really fun, in my opinion, for that. But sometimes you get some people that maybe try to jump too high, and then maybe they make a 20-pound jump and they miss, and then people are like, "Oh, he only lifted 220," and it's like, well, he could do much more than that, but he had to
Yeah. He
jump for
skipped
yeah. So there's a lot of
multiple lifts that could have been done. Yeah.
yeah, and then sometimes people play it a little too safe, and it's like, well, I think Jason Dingy did that one year at Nationals where he like on the Napalm Nightmare handle specifically. He probably would have been good for who knows what, but I mean, he would have cleared 500 or gone higher into the fives. And
Yeah.
he, kind of just maybe stopped it. I'm just don't quote me, but like 490 or something, and that was his last attempt. And he's, I guess based off his training numbers and then what he got there, he felt stronger at the competition. It was like, well, if I had unlimited attempts, I just keep going, but so yeah, it does kind of limit things in one way, but then it also adds another factor. The only bad thing is if you do miss for any reason and you can't come back and get it, you're out. Whereas with the four attempts, you
Yeah,
could
which
screw up three times and come back and hit it. Like, okay, you get kind of a redo. So
yeah,
tough to say what's
I think
better.
I
I
mean
like both, but
I think I prefer last man standing. I think that
mhm.
um maybe just suits me a bit better.
Well, and I think if someone is a
But yeah,
little
so
more, if someone's more of a veteran or they've trained a little bit more, they might kind of know how to navigate those jumps. So they kind of know that, okay, I'm probably going to have enough attempts or I'm not going to miss and I will dial in close to what my potential is for today. It's really hard for a new lifter sometimes to select their jumps. You'll see them take 16 jumps in a competition like that because they don't know where to even open.
yeah,
Um, but
yeah.
yeah, it's all part of, learning and gaining experience.
Or
But
yeah, like if you're doing a light implement, like let's say hub or something, where you think, okay, because this is light, I can do 15 jumps, you know?
mhm, yeah,
It's not as taxing on the body, but
that's true.
it's cooking your hand.
Yeah, whereas an axle, no one wants to no one wants to take 15 pulls on
Nah, one
that.
and done. One and done.
But
So yeah, we did. So yeah, it was last man standing rising bar format.
yeah, which I that and
Was
that's one of the best. I mean, for my opinion, for what it's worth, that's a good way to find out who's going to put up the biggest numbers or allow the lifter to get the biggest numbers on the board.
yeah, and we started with Saxon. And yes, pretty decent standard from the start. Top lifter for the females, Megan Galvin hit 60 kilos, which is, I think, I mean, obviously Sarah has the record there, but I think there's a big grouping at 70. So,
Hmm.
you know, and being a first time, I would say that's probably attainable at some point.
Yeah,
In the men, there was like two standouts. Obviously, we had Joe and Henry. Joe hitting 110, Henry hitting 125. But we had this huge grouping of lifters hit 95 and attempt 100. And then that's
I'm
probably at the
seeing it
point
right
I've
now.
realized, um, okay, the standard of this comp is going to be pretty high.
Hmm.
When you've got newcomers coming in, hitting 95 on the Saxon, it was pretty exciting actually to see. And then a bit of a drop off, and then I only hit 80 with a couple others. And interestingly, the everyone was slipping on the left hand side. So I'm not sure if there was like some bad chalking there or some dodgy paint or something, but everyone's left hand was coming straight off. Even at the top lifts, I think Henry and Joe and Isaac, Sam, I think yeah, all of their left hands slipped. So
Yeah, it'd be
yeah,
interesting. Like I said, I'd have to be there to try to see what happened. I had a similar thing happen at Minnesota with the Saxon bar where like my left hand was off and I tried to like kind of shift over, reset. I was having to put my grip out wider because of where the chalk was placed, and it just kind of threw me off. But yeah, my left hand was my failing point on that one too, and that bar was kind of
I
slick. So
mean,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe my left hand's just a little
yeah,
weaker on that
maybe
diameter or sorry width that we did. But yeah. Could be
it
something if
could
it
be
happened that often.
coincidence, like
That's
we
true.
could all be right-handed lifters and you know the
Yeah.
left hand was just weak. It could be coincidence. So um yeah, Henry took a lead out of that event. So the overall prize was done by total. So yeah, Henry would have taken 15 kilos lead out of that event.
Okay. And basically by that, you're
Um
just saying like the total, I mean, you're just adding up essentially, you know, kilos for this lift, kilos for that lift, and bam.
yeah,
Whoever has that highest
yeah.
total at the end, that's the winner. Because
Highest total wins.
and
And
that's a
the
solid format as
secondary
well. Yeah.
secondary prize was pound for pound. Um but yeah, we'll get to that at
Oh
the
yeah, yep,
end.
yep.
So yeah, we went from Saxon into the 2-inch nape up nightmare, the two-handed lift. Um, we had two of the females break 100, 101, and then Megan hit 121. So some decent lifting there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I'm guessing Megan was probably a strong deadlifter anyway, because I think she followed it up with the strongman or strong woman comp the next day. So yeah, really really good numbers there. Um, we had four men break 200 kilos.
That's
Um,
and that's a really good mark. I mean, for that, because I mean, if we're saying 200, I mean 200 kilos, what's that? 440 in pounds? That's 440 pounds.
yeah,
That's getting up there.
yeah.
That's good.
Henry hit 236. Joe hit 206. And I will say this was probably the point where I thought, well, Joe's looking pretty strong. His hands are looking, yeah, really, really strong.
Well,
So
Joe hadn't
excited
competed in a
about what was
while,
gonna,
right? Joe hadn't
yeah,
competed in a while, so
he's
there's some question marks. What's this guy gonna do? He's been rusty.
pretty,
But
yeah, pretty much. There
I'm just
was,
messing around a little bit, but yeah, but I mean, he has kind of battled through some injuries and some time off. So I was very excited to see him back competing. Like when I opened my phone and I started seeing like, oh shit, Napalm Nightmare, and he had the plates loaded up. I'm like, man, like
yeah,
back his
the
back must be
stack, the
okay.
stack was looking impressive. Um, Isaac hit 216, and I think
Man,
this is one of his better events. That and the vert bar.
he's yeah, oh yeah, he's yeah,
And,
he's so strong at that lift.
Sam Voigt is, yeah, not like a regular grip guy, but he hit 201.
Yeah.
So yes, again the standard was really high.
Well, yeah, when Sam that you're
So
mentioning
you know,
there, I mean, he also was, one of the guys that hit 95 on the Saxon as well. And I'm assuming it's probably not a lot of
yeah,
time training it, but just, you know, lifting over
yeah,
95 kilos your first time out or something, or
uh,
with limited
yeah,
exposure.
and a very he's a big guy too,
Yeah.
huge, strong guy. Um, and then yeah, like I find this event usually drops off at about 180. I think there was a few of us grouped around there. Matt
Mhm.
Whaling had 191. Um, and I will mention that Matt Whaling backed up this grip comp with a 470 kilo trap bar deadlift.
Okay.
So he's gone 90. What has he got? 95 on the Saxon, 191 on the Napalm Nightmare, and then gone off and done 470 on the trap bar. So that's a
Yeah,
pretty good day out. I would take that.
for sure. I just want to do the conversion on that. Oh, so that's 1,036 pounds?
Yes,
Whew.
must be right. Yeah.
For some reason, I heard 470 kilos, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty heavy. That's like 800 or something. I'm like, whoa, you cleared 1,000. Like, okay, no, it's a major lift. Not that 800 wouldn't be
Yeah.
either, but
He's a really strong guy,
wow, yeah,
and he'll probably break through into like top three finishes. I think in some upcoming grip comps because yeah, he just keeps getting stronger and stronger and more experience. So
yeah. Keep him on board,
look
man.
out,
Keep him competing.
look out. Um, from there, we went to the grab ball, and this was where Joe stood alone. He hit 98 kilos on the grab ball, um, with a large grouping at
Man, yeah,
83. So
yeah,
Joe got that 15 kilos back from the first event. And that was a very, very strong lift. I think he went for 102 afterwards
yeah.
and might have just missed it. But yeah, the
That might have been a
98
PR
looked,
for him. That 102, he might have been trying to take a PR jump. I think his best is like 221 or 223 in pounds. And it's basically I
yeah,
think it's the second highest lift all time on it. So yeah,
yeah.
Joe's
It,
one of the best.
it,
That's who I got my grip on the grab ball from when I was
hey, I used the Hodgson method too.
yeah, dude, I have to. I mean, it's just I remember getting that grab ball and just lifting and looking at the list of everybody that did it the year before in King Kong, and I was like, I'm 50, 60 pounds off these people. What's wrong with me? And then I just looked at that list and saw that Joe was at the top and reached out. And so, yeah, Joe, once again, I've mentioned on the show several times, thank you for helping me with the grab ball technique from the very start. Because we had
Yeah,
grab ball at
it's got
our
like,
regionals comp.
oh, you did?
Yeah, we just
Oh,
did grab.
cool.
Yeah, we just did it again. So I hit 90 kilos this time. So yeah, Joe's still whooping up
Hey,
on me
that's a
on
good
that
lift.
event. Yeah, I did 198, and then some dude named Jason Dingy claims he bullied me into taking a 10-pound jump to 208, and I missed. But I tried 208 because I wanted to, not because I was peer pressured by that guy. But,
He's oh well, he's a pretty intimidating guy, so I, I would I would take his jumps as well.
yeah, well, I was feeling good, so I had to try to put the pressure on him because I'd already got him in one event that day, which has never happened in any competition ever. So if I were to even get him by a pound on that second event, that would I mean that's almost like winning a comp there. But no, I'm kind of messing around. But yeah, I was trying to chase the big dog and just couldn't do it. So there's a reason that he's got two belts right now walking
You
around
have
and
to be strategic in your event selection. Pick
yeah.
your four best, invite him to a comp, and then you've got him.
Well, what I'd have to do is just put 100 item medley out and just hope he gets tired, or just make everything farmer's carry and just try to make him have to be as mobile
Yeah,
as possible. Because
yeah,
in
yeah.
anything static for max weight, I don't know that there's four events I could even put together that I could mess with him on. It's pretty bad. I mean, or I say it's not bad. I mean, I'm a well-rounded lifter, but Jason is a well-rounded lifter
Oh
that is
yeah, he's
stronger than
just
me. So
yeah, he's
yeah.
just elite.
So yeah, I would try to make him just have to run as much as possible. Like, hey guys, we got to run 100-yard sprint down and back, and then we're gonna max out on this. And just start adding random stuff that has
Yeah,
nothing to do with grip in it.
yeah.
But who
Do
wants?
like hub farmers,
Yeah,
1 mile hub farmers.
uphill. Just but but yeah, but then who wants to win that way anyway? Right? We're testing grip strength, so I'm more so just joking around. But yeah, I'll slowly try to close the gap on Jason here in Ohio and see what happens. But then so many other lifters too, because like I said, I'm just battling with Cliff Keener and other stuff. But I don't want to get into these other cats. We'll stick to Australia. This show's about Australia. Got Jason over here giving me flashbacks of the beating 2 weeks ago. I got to just move on to Australia now. So
Wow, I can relate if we're going to talk about getting beaten. So for after grab ball, went on to finish ball. Um, and again, Joe took out top lift
Joe,
with
he's got a good
40
finish ball too.
kilos. Um,
Yeah, and so probably close to about 90
there,
pounds on that for him.
yeah, there was. I think he did that quite easily again, and might
Man,
have done a 2.5 jump and missed that. So
yeah,
um, again, he's made a little at this point, made a little bit of ground on Henry, but I think going into the last event, I think Henry was probably 30 kilos ahead.
yeah.
Um,
That's a big. I mean, it's a big gap
and
still to try to overcome.
yeah,
Or
and going into a vert bar event as well. So I think at that point it was pretty much wrapped up. Top female lifter on the finish ball was Megan again. She had 25 kilos, um, which I'm not too familiar with the standings there, but I think that sounds like a pretty decent number.
I'm not either. I think the only number that sticks out for women's lifts on finish ball for some reason, um, I remember Tammy McClure did like 70 or 70 something because I remember thinking like, man, she almost beat me at King Kong. So that's the only reason. For some reason, it just stood out when I was covering the event, maybe last year or the
Yep,
year before. But Tammy,
yes,
yeah,
I
but
remember that lift.
but Tammy had a big finish ball lift that was good, and I just remember thinking like, man, like had I maybe missed a jump or two of mine, like she's beating me. So, but yeah, but obviously, I mean, Tammy's not like the average women's lifter in our sport either. She's, you know, right there at the
Yeah,
top
at the
for
top. At
anything.
the top.
So yeah, for these lifts to, even kind of be, roughly, close within 10, 15 pounds or something, or, within 5 kilos. Yeah, still good lifts. But I don't have good reference, like you said. I don't have good in my mind. I just couldn't tell you what the top women's lifts are right now for finish ball.
Yeah.
I'd have to bring that up. Um,
Yeah. Oh, there's way too many tables to remember all those.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, that was the end of the four GSI events, GSI tracked events.
Hmm.
And then we went into the Mandrel. Now, we did have a bit of a scheduling clash with the World Deadlift Championship and the grip event. So a couple of people had to sort of break away and get ready for their deadlifts. So not as many, we don't have as many lifts recorded for the Mandrel. Good battle at the top. We know Isaac Pitt is very good at the vert bar.
Hmm.
Um, but we had Henry lifting 133 to take out the Mandrel and the comp too. So and Isaac was chasing him with 113, which is there's no shame in breaking 100 on a vert
No,
bar lift.
yeah. I mean, that's
And
almost
then a
250 right there. I mean, if I do the
yeah,
conversion, that's like
huge,
240 something, 250 something.
huge.
Yeah, that's a big lift.
I think they had a really good battle too at the Nationals on the vert bar.
Yeah,
I think
no, I do remember that. I want to
one
say, oh, I was going to go pounds on you. I'm sorry, but I think
no, all
Isaac,
good.
I think Isaac did like 303, like 303
Yes.
pounds, and then Henry was like 320
Yep.
something, 326. I
Yeah.
said don't quote me on those exactly, but yeah, it's like 303 and 326. But I remember covering it, and some of these numbers just stick in my head. I'm usually pretty good about memorizing numbers if I see them, but if it's something I've never seen, I can't really remember it. But that one, I do remember those two guys,
Yeah.
like 320s and like just over 300 in that particular event.
Yep.
So to see them go at
So they're
another vertical lift is cool.
yeah. Yeah, it was great lifting and great to watch. There were only two that broke 100, and then there was a bit of a drop away, and a few of us got 93. So yeah, that wrapped up the comp. We had Henry, as mentioned, finishing first, Joe second, Isaac third. So pretty high quality podium.
No, I
Super
mean,
tough
yeah,
to
if you
break
if you were to
into.
put those three lifters against almost any other podium, I mean, all these competitions here that I've been covering recently have, man, just they've had really strong podiums. I'm just the top three. It is a battle just to get up there, man. Very tough. But yeah, this one's no
Absolutely. Like
exception.
it's
I mean,
yeah, it's great to see, you can't just rock up and
yeah.
win because I've used the handles, for a couple of years now and I've got the experience. No, you have to be strong and smart and just you're not just going to finish top three just because.
Yeah, it's not like you just show up and it's like, oh, well, I've been training a little bit. I'll just walk in, and not against some of these caliber people. It's like this is
No, you got to.
and I like it too because it really adds legitimacy to the sport. Because one of the things that we always hear is that, oh, well, these other lifters from these other strength sports, they're just going to come over and take all the records. It's like, well, in some cases that could be true for certain events, but then in other cases it's like, no, it's not true. Like,
Yeah,
like for this
yeah,
event format, you let me know what random person's just going to walk over and casually beat Henry Mullet on these events. Like it's not just going to happen like that. Like I said, it just adds legitimacy to the sport because I think that was a big argument that certain people would look down on. And I'm not referring to any specific incident, but the big thing is always like, oh, well, some random pro strongman could just come over here and just basically like, wipe you guys off the map if he wanted to. And I think now with the way the
Mm,
sport has really evolved, it's you can't really say that. Maybe on an axle or certain events, you might have some truth
yeah.
occasionally, but for
Like
a
there's
4 to 5 implement, well-rounded,
yeah,
they're gonna
there's
they're
some
gonna mess
events
up.
that are just like raw strength,
Yeah. Yep.
and strong people will always do well in that, right? But,
Yes.
when you've got things that involve technique or pain or a full comp that involves a bit of strategy, yeah, it's going to take you know, a
Yeah.
bigger effort just to win that overall.
See, like I said, I like
Um,
pointing that stuff out, and not to get too sidetracked, but yeah, like I think about things like um U.S. nationals, and I think about how Jalen, Jed, and Jason all went like 20 second or like 19 seconds, 18 seconds, 17 seconds, like one, like unless you really have experience in like setting grippers and stuff. I mean, it's just setting a number four is not really an easy thing to do, and then to hold it for you know 17,
it's
18, 19 seconds and there's three guys in the room doing it, like not everybody's just going to walk in because you're strong at deadlift or something and be able to do that shit. Like it doesn't work that way. So um I like I said, I like lifters from the rookie level to the youth level to whatever. I like seeing it all. But for the legitimacy of the sport, I think it is important to have, those regional competitions, national competitions, competitions like this that have been contested, annually for several years now. I like seeing those podiums with really good quality competitors because it just solidifies and sort of like gives credibility to the sport in the sense that, hey, these people are for real. They're taking it serious and like there's no freebies. You're not just going to show up and power your way through it. No, like you're gonna have to
yeah,
learn
no,
the sport
not at
and
all.
yeah, you have to learn the sport and pay your dues if you want to start, placing well at these competitions because the evolution of the sport is really taken off and it's only getting stronger and better. It's just getting tougher and tougher.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll quit ranting about that. And
No, it's
yeah.
like a no, it's a fair point because not to I don't like talking about myself, but if you look at where I finished and look at everyone above me, they're just super strong people that I probably couldn't beat without a heap more training.
Hmm.
James Sue, massive deadlifter. Tom Denmead, who finished, he won the pound for pound
Yeah.
um,
Well,
medal,
Tom has won his
and
Tom has won his
we know
weight
how
class in
strong he
King
is.
Kong, right?
I think maybe a few times.
Or he's either won it a few times or he's definitely podium multiple times. But at that weight class, he's I just remember first getting into the sport and seeing Tom's name all the time down there, like 74 kilos and stuff. So I'm very familiar with how strong he is and what his numbers, where he's kind of at. So yeah, I mean he's 74 kilo lifter, but I mean he's beating guys well above his weight class often.
Lifts lifts like a heavyweight.
Yep.
Sam Voigt, yeah, huge, strong deadlifter who trains out of the ultra strength gym. And then, Isaac Joe Henry, all super strong, experienced guys. So the
Yeah.
standard's definitely jumping up, I think, which is cool. And it's great to watch too when you go to these comps and you're seeing big lifts.
I think it also helps. In the sense you're talking about like how the level of training or what it would take to maybe close the gap on some of these guys, but it being in the room with them also helps you or others because you can kind of like, okay, well that's what almost by default it's going to raise your game up because you're just feeling pushed by them, or it's just kind of driving it. Whereas if you were like on an island by yourself and didn't know what anyone else was lifting,
Yeah,
you might
exactly.
perform, might be doing less, but when you like in person, you're like, okay, well Henry added 20 pounds to that. Hey, Joe's back. He's as strong as he was when he left, basically. Like, you're like, man, okay. It just helps you kind of, at least that's how I always view it. So I am not a stranger to getting beaten competitions. Um, I, we have an ongoing joke. I've got like a million bronze medals because I am like right there, but I just can't get those top guys in certain formats. Um, but yeah, every time I get around somebody and I see what they're doing or what they've done from competing, and I don't want to go on like a big uh, thing here, but I mean, competing with like Jason and Mike here in Ohio, Cliff Keener in Ohio, Jed and Luke are always on my radar. When I was in North Carolina, lifting against Ben Helms pretty frequently.
Oh,
Just,
geez.
I just being around those guys, it just always made me, I'm strong. I'm right there, but I was just constantly getting beat. And I know it's by good people, so I don't like, I don't get down about it, but it just sort of motivates me like, man, I got to get to where they're at. And then usually by the time you close that gap, they climbed up too. So, uh, but yeah, man, like I said, it's always better if you can get around experienced lifters, people that are just stronger. I just think it pushes you. Like this past weekend, I got in that same situation. I probably exceeded what I expected on a certain lift by 30 pounds just because I had two people in the room that were like putting that pressure on me,
Yeah.
where I might have stopped earlier or not cared as much or not, got into it and focused as much. But when you got other people kind of holding you accountable and pulling big weights, it's going to bring the best out of you as well. So, um, yeah, it's important to note. And you're in a good area. Like I really like the Australian scene from when I first got into the sport and then seeing what's happened since. Because, like I said, the
Yeah.
introduction of nationals, competitions like this that are, becoming a staple, the King Kong venues, I just feel like that scene has really kind of grown and
Yeah.
it's
I
been
think
fun to
it's grown
watch.
in a really good way as well. It's not, we're not trying to force legitimacy or, seriousness into the sport. These events, they're heaps of fun, you
Mhm.
know. The vibe is always good in the room. And it's good, yeah. Well, like, there's a few older, more experienced people, but there's a lot of fresh faces coming through and people coming back to that next comp, which is really important.
Yes.
It's probably easier to get someone to do one comp, their first comp, than it is to get them back to do the next one. So,
I,
to have guys like
yeah.
Matt and Mark, James, Dean, to have them come back and know, okay, they're going to be at this comp every year.
Well, I see,
That's
I've seen
awesome.
Dean on several competitions out there. I feel like he's been pretty active in competing as well. Um,
Yeah, I think he's a big gripper guy. I think he does a lot of gripper training, and he's
I haven't.
usually out at this Canberra comp. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen a lot of training footage from Dean, but I've spoke to him like briefly, like one time, or I kind of forget really when it was, but like I definitely know the name and kind of can map out, return lifters. But I definitely agree. I've been to many competitions where I saw somebody lift for the first time and then you don't see him again, or
yeah.
it's just not the same. And then when you get something like this where the return, yeah, much harder to get somebody to come back to two or three competitions than it is just to get them to show up that one time. So really is a testament to the work you guys are all putting in out there. And yeah, I just, man, just keep it up. I mean, you and everybody out there, it's fun for us over here in the US to watch, the community, whether it be Canada, wherever, it's exciting. And seeing the levels rise and seeing this expand with more dates on the
Yeah,
calendar, it's good.
it's always great to see, like, you do look at the other countries and as a group and go, well, the English, the guys in the UK, they're getting stronger and there's more strong guys popping up and you it's probably just natural to as a group to compare yourself to them and go, okay, well,
Mhm.
we've got, guys like Henry and Joe and oh, there's Jason and Jed and yourself and it's cool to have all these little pockets around the world.
Yeah, no, it, that's what's fun for me when, like, obviously when I'm competing, I want to win and all that, but like, I'm just as much of a fan of the sport as anyone else is, getting to see these spreadsheets and see who's lifting
Yeah,
what. It's very exciting for me to kind of map out, or if there's
it's
ever rankings or changes, or so and so signed up for this competition. I follow it pretty closely, so I get hyped up when I see stuff like that. So aside from me being competitive and everything, I just, man, I just like kicking back and seeing what else is happening or watching things grow. Because there's some countries that don't even have grip going right now, or that maybe could, or maybe they had a competition or two, but it hasn't really turned out the way that your guys' scene has. And your guys' scene is a really good model of how this is once again just my opinion, but it's a really good example of how there maybe, and I'm not saying grip's never been contested there, so nobody freak out on me. But as far as like GSI sanctioned competitions and things of that nature, I, 4 or 5 years ago, I don't really know that Australia had really too much going on, or maybe 5, 6 years. Maybe people were
Yeah,
training, maybe people were into it and stuff, but to, like I said, see the national, ever just to see the competitions and the level of people and the people that stick with it, it's almost been, like the blueprint for like, hey, if you want to build grip in a region, look at what Australia kind of went from and how it kind of started picking up to, like, look where it's at now. It's been probably one of the better regions to follow just geographically. Not even, just lifters or competition, just watching an area that didn't have, it wasn't like 6 or 7 years ago people were like, man, that guy in Australia and his grip, or nobody in GSI was probably really talking like that. Now we can sit here and talk about
yeah,
people on the podium, people that are showing up for the first time and doing crazy feats of strength and lifts, and it's just so much progress that you guys have made in short time when you really think about it. I mean, yeah, it's years, but in the grand scheme, it's a lot of ground that's been covered for the last 3, 4 years. It's been really good. I don't want to just keep beating a dead horse and praising it, but
yeah. No,
it's been
that's
good.
awesome to hear. You're right. It's not like years and years and years, like isolated. It's a few days effort back.
Mhm.
It's like 10 comps. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the key might be make sure you have beer at your competitions, and then
I've been in a few
that.
that have it now. I'm not a big drinker myself, but I have seen some beer present at the competitions, and actually, I don't know. I don't. I'm not even gonna get into. I was gonna get into like another side story about a competition a while ago, but I'm not even gonna mess with it. But uh, but yeah. Um, and for that, I'm trying to get back to the competition. I'm sorry. With Henry taking first for the overall, Joe taking second, Isaac in third. Sorry, I just read it as Isaac. It's like, ugh. But I think other people say
Ah,
Isaac.
it's all good.
Um,
All good.
Isaac in third, and then Tom Denmead winning the pound for pound for the males. That's correct, right?
Yep.
I didn't miss anything there.
Yes.
And then for the women's podium, how did that kind of shape up?
So Megan, who had a few really good lifts that we've mentioned, she took out first, and then Denise and Danielle second and third.
Mhm.
Now, interestingly, Naomi Denmead, Tom's wife, took out the female pound for pound. So
Okay.
together
Yeah.
they took out both.
There you go.
Pretty solid performance overall there.
Yeah.
Um,
Has Tom's wife lifted before? I mean, I know he's competed a lot, but I don't know that I've seen
no, I
her
don't. I
name pop up
think
too
this
much.
was
But
probably her first comp.
okay. Yeah. But I say being around an experienced lifter like him, I mean that I feel like that almost gives you an idea of the sport. When you're jumping into it, it's not like, oh, I found this random sport. You're like, well, he's been doing it for years and he's good at it. You're gonna pick up some things, I think, and probably perform better than the average person would just getting thrown into it. So that's cool. They both got the pound for pound
Yeah, it
there.
was good day out for the family.
Right. Anything else to add about the competition, or stuff that was kind of going on? Just any kind of bonus stuff there. I know we kind of broke down the paper results, but
I
you already talked
think
about the wrestling and everything else too. I mean, we did cover a decent amount of kind of the environment there, but yeah, anything you think
it
of,
was
or
just kind
yeah.
of you know I think the best thing, and it's probably my favorite weekend for the year, is just like the vibe in the room. You've got your grip platform set up, and you've got guys in deadlift suits getting ready, and you turn around and there's a bloke in a wrestling luchador mask, and people are standing around having a beer, having a chat, talking technique. There was, like I mentioned, there was a few arm wrestlers from the local arm wrestling club there. So yeah, I think the vibe was just so good.
Yeah, I mean, and
There
I
wasn't,
think it's important for competition though too. Is
yeah,
aside from are the events good? Just how it's ran and the connection between the people at the venue can really make or break a competition. Some competitions will just
yeah,
sound like a funeral, like nothing's happening, everything's real boring. And then other times people, I mean, screaming and cheering and going crazy, or just they're almost having so much fun they forget they're lifting. Like
yeah. I
I've
think
gotten to
it's
rambling on the side sometimes, and people be like, "Hey, you gonna take this jump? Like it's starting to get heavy," and I'm like, "Oh, I better jump in there before I
yeah. I
zero."
think it's definitely the social element is really big too.
Yeah,
You know, they've just nailed the vibe there, and I think that probably it's not just about the group of grip people. I think that comes from the gym. I think
yeah,
Mark has done. He must do a great job with building that culture in the gym. Because everyone's really supportive and everyone helps out, and you know the the lightest lift gets cheered as much as the big PRs. So
hmm
credit to him.
yeah. Like I said, Glenn, with that, is there anything else that you would want to add before we kind of close it up? I guess. I mean, not too much. I feel like I've kind of praised the Australian scene. We've covered the numbers, talked about kind of everything for the comp. Uh, I'm assuming there will be another
Um,
installment next year of this, and this is something that's
I
like
yeah,
it's going
I
down.
hope so.
Okay.
I hope we can report back on Ultra Strongfest number 4.
Yeah,
Um, and if Mark is watching, please put finish ball back in the comp so I can beat Joe at it next year.
that's right.
Maybe.
Nah, you'll get him.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll come up with some secret training and leave Joe out of it. Not tell him what's going on. We'll get some secret methods
The
going.
more, sorry, I don't want to
No, you're
start
good.
rambling about
No, no,
finish ball,
no, you're good,
but the
man.
more I've trained it, the worse my comp results have gotten. One year I did almost just finish ball between King Kongs and my lifts went down. So I don't know. I
I'm
think
not
the
a good.
best idea is not to touch it.
I was gonna say that's kind of my method. It's
Yeah,
like
just don't touch it.
I did a I did a lift. I don't even know if I have that on video. I might not have posted it to like YouTube. It might have just been on Instagram a long time ago. But I stuck the finished ball on top of the inch dumbbell and lifted it. And I just said finish ball PR because I don't lift. I wasn't messing with it. So I was like, that's about the only way I'm hitting the PR and training on it. Because yeah, my method for the finish ball is maybe familiarize and get hands on it a handful of times before the competition, kind of just get technique and just familiarize. But I'm not
Yeah.
like uh treating it like a main lift where I'm like, ooh, let me put bands over top of it and I'm gonna like do some kind of negatives. Or I'm not like treating it like it's a fucking do or die lift or something. I just haven't, and honestly, I've had some competitions where it was a little underwhelming. I've had some where I kind of surprised myself, but I generally fall for now in that like 70 to 80 pound range. Um, but yeah, you start getting up towards like 90 and where some like Joe and some of those guys are, that's just a little, at this time, it's been a little out of reach for me in the past. I don't know. I haven't, once again, haven't touched the finish ball since probably last time it was in a competition. So maybe this week
Yeah.
maybe I'll go do some blob lifts or an inch dumbbell lift with it and put the finish ball somehow incorporate it in a just like get a plate mate for the blob and then put the finish ball on the plate mate, the magnet, and just have it.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for a million ways to incorporate the finish ball but not actually train it, just have it present and screw around. I'm
Just
just
have,
joking.
yeah, I think finish ball awareness just by having it around.
Yeah.
Just hope.
Every feat I do from now on, it's just going to be like off to the left with a couple plates and a little loading pin as if I've been training it, fool the people. Nah, I'm screwing around at this point too, man. Yeah, there's times I tried training a little bit more, but it didn't seem to matter. And it was really just, how did it feel that day? Did I get that good bite? Did it just stick? Did it feel right? And if it felt good, boom, the numbers were good. And if it didn't, there wasn't really shit I could do about it. It just kind of, you know,
Yeah.
I drop off a little bit and, I'm 5 pounds under what I did. Well, that's just what happens. So, um, but yeah, man, that's about it, man. Glenn, I thank you for
Yeah.
coming on the show. It's the first time you've been on here. But you've been in the
No,
sport, you've been
thank
in the
you.
scene for a long time. And, I've already had everybody on the podium on the show, at one point in time or numerous times. So, yeah, just wanted to kind of get a fresh take from another veteran lifter and somebody that's been involved in the community for a while. And yeah, I thank you for taking this. I don't say short notice, but I kind of just randomly reached out and you got back to me quick. We
No,
made it happen. So yeah, I appreciate it,
all
man.
good. I'm at work at the moment, so not doing much. But yeah, thanks for the chat. I could probably just keep going
So would you
and going.
say would you say that you are a professional grip sport athlete because right now you are getting paid to do commentary on the
Uh,
sport?
yeah. Oh, well, yes.
I think you're
Put
a
me in the
pro.
pro division.
You're a professional grip analyst at this point.
Put
Yeah.
me in the pro division.
Yeah. We'll get that pro card shipped out to you right away.
Can't wait. I'll frame it.
And also, real quick, this is the
Oh,
last thing I'm going to bring up because when I was reaching out to you, I went to DM you about this and getting on here. I've made jokes recently about newer lifters coming into the sport, lifting on like a random brand name handle that has not been contested ever or only a handful of times, and then they claim records in their weight class records and they throw it in their bio. Da 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 da. What's in your bio right now? Because I read it and I started busting out laughing when I messaged you. You said something like you're like
um,
world record holder of like untracked lifts or something.
multiple world record holder in untracked events.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So you get
I
it. You're on the right path. Yeah.
I just make up events and break the record, and then that's it. No one knows about it.
And
You can't beat me.
if you can keep doing that for at least another, I would say probably 5 to 6 days, you might be qualified to start just doing coaching and make a killing off of your programs and training for these specific lifts. I mean, all these world records and stuff. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
it's a good thing.
you know, I am pro, so
Well, pro, and I mean, the credibility's there from not only being a professional analyst, but I mean, how many world records would you, if you had to guess, about how many world records do you have in untracked lifts? If you had to
for
guess,
15 minimum.
15 minimum. Okay. Yeah.
15 minimum.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's not even counting all I mean, there's probably all kinds of other stuff in there too that some of you probably forgot about since you've been doing it so long.
I mean, there's probably stuff I've done that I didn't know was a world record. And then, you know, have to
Right.
go back and have a assess.
Yeah. Well, at this point, you can pay someone to go and do all that for you. You don't have to worry about those kind of things.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'll send my footage off to Isaac and get him to do some analysis.
yeah. Um, all right, Glenn, man. Like I said, I had to bring that up because I was on a tangent about world records and these people don't have world records, but they claim them. And if you have a world record, you have a world record. I'm not saying anything about that. It's just when people clearly don't have a world record and they claim it, that's when it's like a little bit weird. But yeah, I mean, you put that in your bio. I just remember reaching out for the show and I'm like, oh man, that's kind of funny. I hadn't seen it from before, really. And for some reason, when I went to message you, I was like, that's hilarious. So, yeah, had to bring that up real quick before we signed off. So, um, thanks again, man, for doing this. And yeah,
All good.
wish you the best in your future competitions and training. And yeah, stay in touch, man. I'd love
Same.
to have you back on the show
Same.
again.
Yeah,
So
look, thank you. Like I said, I could probably chat for hours more about grip.
I'm gonna bring you in on
And
the
yeah, we'll
panel.
definitely.
One of these future panels when it's not competition specific. We'll bring you in and get you rolling with. I'll just do like a shuffle, 3 or 4 people, and we'll just cut
Yeah,
loose on some
we'll do
topics and have you on.
the world record panel.
We could do it. I mean, world records have
Yeah,
been a hot topic, or weight class records, or how many records should be tracked. I mean, with all jokes aside, there is a
Oh
discussion to
yeah,
kind of be
it's
had, you
yeah,
know. So,
yeah,
but yeah, I would love to have you back
and
on the show, man. Yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry, I know we're finishing up, but
No, you're good, dude. Yeah.
it is a serious topic, isn't it? Because you've got, you know, you can't have 15 world records for 15 different vert bars that are all essentially the same, or should you? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you know, should there be a grandfather clock record and an arm assassin vert bar record and whatever else, you know,
Hmm.
whatever else is out there? Yeah, it probably would make a good discussion.
No, yeah, I totally agree. That's why I think we'll, uh, like I said, we'll get to it at some point here for sure, or in the future. But for now, yeah, thank you for covering this competition in depth. Thank you for coming prepared with all the stuff, and yeah, I mean, I think it really was a solid recap where hopefully everybody listening in or watching this will get a good idea of some of these names, new lifters, and kind of get an idea of what was happening there, and maybe draw some inspiration for their own competitions and whatever they have going on. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
exactly. Exactly. Thank you.
Yep, no problem, man.
Thank you.